Hey everyone, this is Mitch from Castro Valley Fitness. How are you all doing? Hopefully you're having a great new year so far. Today I want to go over four simple things you can do to get more out of whatever you're doing for exercise. So let's get started. Okay, so number one, very simple. I see a lot of people when they're exercising, their goal is to get through it, okay? Exercise is not something to just get through. When you're doing that, you're not really keeping your mind on what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, and the reasons behind why you're doing these things. So think about that stuff. That's part of what we're going to talk about in the other three things. So number one, understand that it's not something to just get through, okay? Number two, understand the purpose of what you're doing. So why are you doing it? So there's a lot of variables when it comes to these things. So when you're doing an exercise, say squats, if you're doing a set of 3 squats or a set of 3 reps on your squats, that's going to have a very different purpose than if you're doing a set of 15. It's going to be a very different purpose if a squat is first in your workout as opposed to last in your workout or somewhere in the middle. So understand why something is placed somewhere. Understand the meaning of different rep ranges. Understand if something's within a circuit and how that works. So this is the kind of thing where it's simple. It's not necessarily easy to know, especially if you're not doing your own programming. But if you do have a trainer like me at Castro Valley Fitness, ask me the question, why are we doing this? Why is this here? What does this rep range mean? Because again, sometimes people will say, okay, I'm going to do, for goblet squats, I'm going to do 26 pounds. And they do 26 pounds, whether it's a set of 6 or a set of 30, but that's not working, okay? You got to understand why you're doing it, and that's going to inform everything else about what you're doing, okay? So very crucial part of that. The next thing, your setup. Again, so many people just kind of want to just get through it, and they're not concentrating on the little things with their setup, such as, are their feet even? I see a lot of people that kind of, instead of having their feet straight or out a little bit, but everything's even, they're like this or they're like this, So keep everything even. Think about your setup from head to toe. Have a checklist. Am I even? What's going on here, So that's another thing. The more even you are, the more symmetrical you are in your body, the better that exercise is going to be for you, because you're going to be hitting both sides correctly, okay? Particularly if you have a history of some kind of chronic injuries, chronic pain, particularly in your back or your shoulders or your knees. If you have those kinds of things and you're not symmetrical in your setup, that's going to make a big difference, okay? And then the last thing is form, okay? See how all these things kind of flow together. So form is obviously a big part of your setup, but the approach that I like to take with an exercise is I have my checklist from head to toe as I'm setting up an exercise. Once I start the exercise, I think of one thing, okay? And that one thing is different for everyone. And that one thing is the one thing you need to think about as you are doing that exercise that will put that exercise in its proper place for you, okay? So one of the things I see a lot in here are people with shoulders up here, and that's a very common thing. We're all typing, we're all tense right now, especially these days. So I tell people a lot, pull your shoulders down, pull your shoulders down. So if someone is doing a row, for example, and they're rowing like this, pull those shoulders down, okay? And that's the one thing that they need to think about for that exercise. And understand all of that. So how that relates to purpose is, okay, I'm doing a row here, that's supposed to work this part of my back, it's supposed to feel pretty good for my shoulders as I kind of open them up. If I'm doing that exercise and I'm not feeling that, and I'm feeling pain here, or I'm feeling tension and tightness, obviously that what I'm doing is not fulfilling the purpose of that exercise. It must be my setup or my form. See how all these things work together? It all comes together. So anyway, again, 4 simple things. Understand the purpose. Understand your setup. Think about your setup. Think about your form. And don't just try to get through stuff. Think about these things. It won't take you long once you get used to doing it, and it's going to make a ton of difference in the effects that you get from your exercise. And if you don't know what the answers are to some of these things, ask questions. There you go. Ask questions. All right. And if you do have any questions, you can feel free to email me at mitch@castrovalleyfitness.com, mitch@castrovalleyfitness.com. Enjoy your day. See you soon.